Well, here we are again! First off, I hope everybody had a very good holiday. The update for DevLog came out a while ago, and I'm making this video primarily to see the rest of the cast being added. On top of the fact that when I originally played the demo, it felt kind of short, so this will kind of give me more to really enjoy it. And moving forward, for every other, Dino Girl game that's coming out in the future, and believe me, there's a lot. Regarding every one of those games, I'm only going to play their demo, and then wait for the full release before I play it again. Anyways, I'm excited to see where DevLog goes with Chapter 2. The setting for this game was really interesting, and the whole concept was pretty intriguing. So, I'm anxious to see where it goes from here. Anyways, to Chapter 2. Oh! Wow, these dorm room beds are actually surprisingly nice. Man, they must have spent half their budget on these beds. It's like lying on a cloud that's made out of softer clouds. I could get used to this. Seriously. No wonder dinosaurs almost went extinct. They probably spent all day lounging around, too comfy to notice the meteor. Hey Dev, I think that might be a little insensitive, buddy. You can just sink into the mattress and just let go. Wait. Something is wrong. I'm comfortable. Too comfortable. Alarm bells are triggered in my brain. Holdovers from one too many talks my boss gave me back when I had a summer job. The type that came with a deep frown and a stern warning about coming in late because... Oh crap! I slept in! I grabbed my phone from the nightstand, and looking at the time is like being punched in the gut. It's 9:48 a.m. My first class starts at 10! How did this happen? I know I set my alarm for 8:30. 8:30 p.m. There is nothing more humbling than realizing that you're a fucking idiot because you forgot to set your alarm for the right time of day. Usually I wouldn't care much about this, but my phone displays a text received just a few minutes ago from Theo. I miss you. Damn it, Theo. The guy is such a goober, I love it. You should write number 1 on your forehead. All the freshmen are doing it. First day tradition. How come I haven't heard about it before? It's ridiculous. Oh no. My brain's telling me no. But, why did I do this? Oh no. I run down the stairs and out of the building, only to find the colorful campus outside is already buzzing with activity. I dodge a couple of triceratops playing frisbee, and nearly trip over a velociraptor on a bike. What was that? No, wait, go back! The guy just went flat like he was becoming one with the ground. What is this hairline? I jump at a voice right behind me, feeling my heart skip one too many beats. Turning to its source, I find a short, heavy-set Pachysaurus, looking at me with a stern but tired expression. Based on the way he is dressed pants, a tie, and a well-ironed shirt, I am guessing he's our professor? Either that or a really old student. Which is not an entirely unreasonable assumption. This is a college, I remind myself, not a high school, no matter how much it looks like one. And even if it was a high school, it would be okay for anyone of any age to get their education done. Commendable, even. I noticed that Dev likes to overthink these little things. It's an interesting character quirk. I also just now realized math is sexy. Of all the subjects you had to pick for that, you picked math. I'm so disappointed. Mr. Hawthorne speaks in a surprisingly deep, gravelly rumble. His eyes suddenly narrow, honing in on the marker on my forehead. No, a friend told me it was a freshman tradition. Mr. Hawthorne looks around, prompting me to do the same. Not a single other student has number 1 on their head. I hear the clamor of voices approaching the already half-filled room. How does this work? Is this like the guy code? Where you don't, and I emphasize, you don't choose the seat next to one already in use? Or will people even care at all? I just take a random spot in the middle. Ideal. Won't make me look too eager, but I also won't have to squint to see anything important. It's difficult to stay focused in the class, all things considered. My mind begins to quickly drift. The fact that Mr. Hawthorne talks in such a monotone voice doesn't help. It actually becomes impossible to stay focused. It does give me time to think, though, about what Theo said last night, about making a game. What would it even be about? What kind of game would it be? I like fighting games. and they're not as frustrating as an open-world adventure game filled with busy work. I have a love-hate relationship with those. Open-world type games usually have either great stories or the most slapped-on, cardboard-tasting excuse for a plot, and the fetch quests end up being more entertaining. And almost no one likes fetch quests. I'm not sure if I want to meet anyone who does. Visual novels are out of the question. I mean, reading? In my video game? This is simultaneously the funniest and also the most cursed shit I have ever seen. And then there are shooters. It could be a Boom clone, a linear and narrative focused one, or a competitive shooter. Ultra replayable, not that many assets required. I write all of this down in the empty spaces of the margins of my notes. Regardless of my feelings on it for now, I'll have to discuss this with Theo later. Hello? Oh, I've heard people talk about her. Oh my god. My thoughts are interrupted by what could best be described as an absolute unit of an individual, trying their best to enter the classroom as quietly as possible. The large girl looks around the room as all eyes are on her, and her face turns beet red at the attention. I see her mouth something to Mr. Hawthorne, but don't hear anything at all. He just rolls his eyes and gestures for her to take a seat. I, too, get back to my battle against passing out from boredom. Decide to write down any game-related idea I have, or draw an asterisk on every topic that I can't remember anything about. Math isn't my forte. Never was. But I do remember most of the topics Mr. Hawthorne lists on the blackboard. I wasn't half bad at them in high school, so I don't feel like paying that much attention anyway. She wrote nothing down. That's actually not that bad. Even though she came in late, she hasn't even written down the notes from the board. Her notebook is covered in detailed doodles that extend from one page to another. Huh. Glancing up at the Bronto to make sure she hasn't noticed me staring, I notice she looks... sad? Does she not like her own drawing? But it looks so good. Maybe I should compliment it? Keep it simple. Hey, that's a cool drawing. She freezes like a deer caught in headlights. Slowly, she lifts her head, but her eyes remain hidden behind a curtain of messy hair. Seriously, it's amazing. Did you draw that just now? Her face flushes red. She nods slightly, but still doesn't meet my gaze. Okay, so far so good. Her head darts to the side before she slowly turns the page in her sketchbook. There are more drawings. Landscapes, creatures, abstract shapes, all meticulously detailed. Wow, these are awesome. She glances at me again, and this time there's the tiniest hint of a smile on her lips. I point to one of the drawings that looks like some sort of futuristic cityscape. Her face lights up with a shy smile, and she gestures towards another drawing as if to say, "Look at this one, too." I lean in closer and notice the intricate lines and shading in each piece. It's clear she puts a lot of thought and effort into her work. Do you do this often? She shrugs, nodding lightly. Well, if you ever want to share more of your work, I'd love to see it. I'm Dev, by the way. She nods and closes her notebook and pushes it towards me. On the top is the name Emily. Oh, that's cute. It's actually written in a different font. Nice to meet you, Emily. She gives a small smile and nods again. Suddenly, I'm acutely aware of her gaze as it drifts up to my forehead. So this is gonna plague me all day, huh? Freaking Theo. She writes in the margins of her notebook. I love the fact that her font is written in this way. It's a freshman thing. Somehow I doubt that, but thanks. So, you majoring in art? She tilts her head. I was just assuming based on all those drawings and doodles. They're really good. She looks down at her notebook again. Her face briefly shows a bit of sadness before she turns back to me and shakes her head. Yet again, she digs around in her bag and pulls out a sheet I recognize as a college schedule. She points to several entries. Animal science, agriculture business, horticulture. You're a farmer? She nods her head enthusiastically. I'm gonna protect that smile, dude. I heard people talking about Emily, but I didn't know what I was getting into here. Just want to fucking boop her on the nose. I can't help but notice something off about her laugh. It sounded odd. More like she was choking than chuckling. Yeesh. She must have a cold or something. Well, at least that would explain her lack of speech. My stomach growls loudly, pulling me out of my train of thought. I cringe at the inopportune noise. I just realized, does the hair on her head react to how she's feeling? Emily glances at me, her lips twitching in what I can swear is amusement. And now it's folding. Oh, this girl. It's only now that I notice that we're the only ones left in the room other than the professor. Just as we're both about to leave, Mr. Hawthorne's voice calls out. Emily freezes, her shoulders sagging slightly. She looks over at me, and I can see the embarrassment in the set of her mouth. I give her a sympathetic smile. Well, see you around? I heard from other people that Emily was really nice, and so far, I can see why. I get the feeling she is going to be incredibly popular for her first playthrough. Huh. Looks like I have a request from the counselor to have a meeting today. I can probably just make it before my next class. I hope it isn't anything serious. It brings to mind how Elliot said something about the entire general studies course being my doing. Then, a quick browse through my college account tells me that the funds made it to my virtual wallet sooner than expected. Which means that I am able to buy a warm meal without relying on handouts anymore. I'm second in line to fill my tray with the day's special. Scanning the packed cafeteria when I notice Rebecca sitting alone. Again. She's the only familiar face in this sea of dinosaurs. Wait, do I really want to do this? She wasn't exactly friendly yesterday. I take a step back, nearly bumping into someone behind me. Sorry. Rebecca hasn't noticed me yet. She's hunched over, typing furiously on her laptop. At the same time, she's idly sipping soda through a straw and eating strips of bacon with chopsticks? Interesting choice. That's one way of putting it. Alright, do I want to sit with the girl who only wanted me to get lost yesterday? Come on, Dev. It's just lunch. Not like she's going to bite your head off. But then again, she's a raptor. Do raptors bite heads off? Is even thinking that racist? Note to self. Google that later. I take a deep breath and approach Rebecca's table. My palms are sweating profusely and my heart's trying to escape my chest. Here goes nothing. I plop down across from her without a word and offer her a smile. Smooth AF. Rebecca's head snaps up, her eyes narrowing. Hey. She glares at me, her claws still tapping away on her laptop. Skinny? No, I just thought... My brain's desperately searching for words, but it's coming up empty. I feel my face burning. This was a mistake. A huge, embarrassing mistake. I stand up so fast I nearly spill my entire tray. I'm sorry, I'll just go. Sorry for bothering you. As I turn to leave, Rebecca sighs loudly. I freeze, caught between fleeing and staying. What? I still don't move. Every time I've seen this pose, dude, I swear, I get flashbacks. I gestured to the rough number 1 I scribbled on this morning. Your brother's idea. He texted me that I should do this, and I just did it, I guess. I know what you're going to say, and no, I would not. Rebecca gives me a toothy grin. A sharp, toothy grin. First of all, nope. Second, if I did, it would be the sickest backflip. With a roll of her eyes, she continues picking away at her bacon with the grace and speed of someone accustomed to handling chopsticks. It's a curious sight. So, why are you eating like that? She raises one eyebrow at me. You know, with the chopsticks. Oh, right. Makes sense, I guess. But why not use a fork? She looks at the chopsticks in her hand for a moment and shrugs. How would you even eat bacon with a fork anyway? You'd have to, like, break it into pieces and then just scoop it up. Oh, unless this is the soft bacon. Oh, gross. My brain just instantly thought it was gonna be crispy bacon for whatever reason. I guess I never thought for, like, the softer variants. That laptop looks pretty sturdy. Was it expensive? Rebecca's eyes light up. Clearly this is a topic she's interested in. Cool.
Oh, but can it run Crysis?
A 7090 Ti. I'm surprised that isn't, like, burning an Amazon rainforest right now. Oh my god! I nod, pretending I understand half of what she's saying. That's impressive? Rebecca scoffs. Console games, and even then, only ones I could find used at Gameplace. My family never really had the cash for anything too fancy. Wow. Sympathy. I knew she could do it. So, what are you writing there? Rebecca's fingers freeze over her keyboard. She looks up at me, her eyes narrowing again. I shrug, pushing my food around on my plate. Yeah? Promise not to laugh? Mostly stories about, other stories. Nothing serious, though. Just for fun. Rebecca's eyes widen slightly. Oh, God. What the fuck? She's so fucking precious. Yeah, it never really got any attention or anything. But I figure, what's the point of writing a story if you're not going to share it with someone, right? Would you be willing to show some of it to me? What you're writing, I mean. I could give feedback, if you'd like. I hear her take a deep breath before she begins to speak, her words rolling out like the opening lines of a long-forgotten epic. Oh shit, what the hell is this? I picture it immediately. The red carpet feels rich and inviting. The warmth surrounds me as I stand there, taking it all in. This is fucking cool. Rebecca's tone captures me completely. I'm hanging on every word. Suddenly the magic is gone and I'm yanked back to the CCC cafeteria. A large saurian stands in front of us, hands on our hips and foot tapping in consternation. Wasn't that a bit much? Right. And the two girls? The ones you called, yeah, them. What did they do? And neither would the rest of the class. I don't know why she keeps calling me that or what it means, but I find myself getting annoyed with how much she's pushing back on this. I'm not trying to lecture you. It just seems like a bad idea to lash out because two other girls were being rude. Her jaw tightens as she shifts in her seat. I mean, I've been trying to be nice, but you keep snapping at me too, insulting me. Rebecca's expression quickly shifts between a myriad of emotions. Annoyance, frustration, sadness? Joking or not, it feels like you're just waiting for an excuse to insult me. Well, it doesn't feel like a joke to me. Rebecca huffs and glances back at her screen, avoiding eye contact. I feel my irritation bubbling up. It's hard enough trying to fit in without being treated like some punchline. I'm just trying to get along here. You don't have to make it harder. She opens her mouth like she wants to respond, but then just shuts it again. Whatever. I guess I'll leave you alone then. I really did like your story, by the way. I wish I could have heard more. I push back my chair and stand up, tray in hand. Her silence hangs heavy between us as I turn away. As I walk toward the exit, I hear her voice behind me. But I don't turn around. The cafeteria buzzes with life around me while I leave Rebecca there in silence. Aw, that's rough. It's gonna sound a little weird for me, but I am kind of glad that he put his foot down with her. I can only hope that that's going to be addressed a bit later, though. Regardless, that was a really nice scene with Rebecca. In the middle of my walk to the counselor's office, I realized that I never bothered to ask anyone for directions. I should have asked Rebecca, but going back after the way I left, I can't imagine that would work out very well. It looks like I'm going to have to ask a random student for directions. The thought alone makes me want to retch. I eventually stop a Acetocosaurus walking towards me, scrolling through their phone. I'm sorry, my brain almost combusted. What even is that? Hold on. Huh. Parrot lizards. Leaving me with that odd nugget of wisdom, they turn and briskly walk in the other direction. Before I am able to put too much thought into that little bit of wisdom, I hear the familiar ping of my phone. Huh. I don't recognize this number. What is this? I don't get her. At all. The counselor's office is a cozy room. Comfy cushions, motivational posters, and stacks of papers decorate what would otherwise be a rather cramped space. I love this game's backgrounds. I just want to reiterate that. However, the homely vibe ends at the Leopleurodon leaning back in her chair behind the desk, eyes tightly shut in an expression of frustration, and a can of soda held to her temple. What's with the eye patch? Hold on. To say she doesn't look like the college counselor type would be an understatement. Her rather casual, messy clothes, stern intimidating look on her face, and most conspicuously, the numerous scars patchworking her scales tell a different story altogether. Then there's the eye patch covering her left eye. Not to mention that as I move closer, I can't help but notice a smell that sadly reminds me of a part of home I wish to forget. A frown reflexively appears on my face as she shuffles around the papers on her desk. I cringe, along with the motivational posters. There's a no smoking sign literally right behind her. The irony seems lost on the counselor, who fishes around in her desk before withdrawing a large cigar. The woman lights her it and blows a perfect circle of smoke towards the roof where I notice a clearly disassembled fire alarm. Sam sits across from me, taking slow drags from her cigar, smoke curling towards the ceiling. The air feels thick with it, and I glance around, unsure of what to do with my hands. So... I get the ball rolling, hoping Sam will illuminate the meaning of our meeting. Instead, she takes another long drag and holds it in. Just as I go to open my mouth again, Sam finally breaks the silence. I blink. Despite being a perfectly reasonable icebreaker, I find myself scrambling for a way to put the last 2 days into words. It's okay, I guess. A bit overwhelming. It's big and different. I mean, I'm used to a place where everyone's human. This is a whole other world compared to home. I take a moment to recall all the colorful characters I've met in my short time here. I think so? I met this guy, Theo. He's been nice. And his sister, Rebecca, too. But, I don't know if they're actually friends yet. I rub the back of my neck. They're fine, I guess. Theo seems very enthusiastic about basically everything. Certainly a lot different from my high school friends back home. We barely know each other, and he already invited me to work on some big project. She raises an eyebrow, intrigued. He wants to make a video game. Yeah? What did... It's not bad advice, actually. Why, exactly? She shrugs. I don't feel homesick. No, I haven't talked with him since I left home. I really need to go, and I really don't want to have this conversation. I've been pretty busy the last 2 days. Getting settled in classes and stuff. Sure. Maybe. The smell of smoke and alcohol radiating off of her reminds of the worst parts of home, lessening my desire to spill my life's story, even if I had the time. Is that all, Counselor Sam? I really should get going to my next class. She nods tiredly and dismisses me with a slow wave of her hand. I'm gasping for air by the time I find myself standing before the door to the music room. My hands hover over the knob and I'm about to turn it before my ears perk up at the gentle melody of a violin just inside. Damn it, class must already be in session. My arm moves on its own to pull the door open, revealing rows of chairs set in a semicircle, centered around a podium and a whiteboard. A gray Triceratops girl stands alone behind the podium. She lovingly holds a violin, one hand letting the bow travel gracefully across the strings. Her eyes are closed, and a small smile dances across her lips. Her body slowly sways to the rhythm of her melody. She's pretty. God damn it. This is gonna be so hard to pick a girl on my first go. Son of a bitch. I walk to the closest empty seat. As the girl reaches the finishing notes, an older man stands and walks to her. He begins to applaud. Everyone else joins in, me included. Her accent is strange. She rolls her R's, and her H's are ultra-silent, making her thank sound like tank. Any word with an R sounds like the purr of a kitten as she speaks it. The teacher, Mr. Jablinski, turns to the rest of the class. No one seems to notice or care that I'm late. I spoke too soon. He punches the air and makes air guitar gestures while whistling. It seems like my reputation as the only human will continue to precede me. I think I just realized who he's a reference to. Damn it, that's cool. Mr. Jablinski uses the very first class to go over the schedule for the rest of the semester. The class is otherwise uneventful. This time I take notes though, mostly upcoming expositions and events. Students are supposed to present a piece at the end of the course, either a composition made by oneself or an arrangement based on someone else's music. Speaking of, I'm gonna take another moment and just vibe. Oh my god, what the fuck is with this soundtrack? The class ends an hour and a half later. I'm left with a treasure trove of information on the upcoming semester, and feeling a little overwhelmed for the first day, honestly. Abigail is staying to have a short talk with the teacher while the rest of us prepare to leave. Then Mr. Jablinski jumps up. Then he makes a break for the door, disappearing around the corner. Only for his head to reappear, peeking past the door frame, and his hand making "I see you" gestures at the students still remaining. Then he leaves, for real this time. Taking a good look at her now, she's prim, proper, and elegant, standing ramrod straight and with perfectly combed hair. I have no idea how to reply in the ensuing silence. Her phone keeps ringing off the hook, notifications pinging one after another. It's giving me anxiety at this point. Are you going to pick up? With her phone continuing to chime, she looks me up and down now, her frown deepening as she focuses on my shirt. I look down at myself. Sure, my shirt's a bit wrinkled and my jeans have seen better days, but it's not like I'm planning on walking down a runway. What's wrong with them? She begins digging around in her bag before pulling out some sort of spray bottle. What are you... Without warning, she spritz a few sprays of some sort of mystery liquid onto my shirt. Oh god, I've been acid attacked! What the hell? We jump apart, her in embarrassment and me in shock. She grabs the hem of my shirt and gives it a slight tug. When she lets go, it's noticeably smoother than before. Afterwards, she wilts in embarrassment, her cheeks turning pink. Oh man, dude! This game is already 3 for 3. I can feel myself eating my words. I'm having a hard time deciding which girl to go with now. Fuck me. Her phone beeps once more, seemingly louder this time. She glances at it briefly before looking back at me. Are you gonna get that? Her phone rings, giving us both a start. She winces slightly before reluctantly answering it. Her voice softens as she continues talking to her mother. I feel a bit awkward just standing here. She heaves a sigh away from the receiver to prepare herself. Abigail glances at me and turns away, her voice even lower now in another language. I shift my weight from one foot to the other, feeling more awkward by the second as Abigail continues her phone conversation in a language I don't understand. Her voice is low, and she keeps glancing at me as if she's worried about me overhearing something important, which is frankly giving me too much credit, with my menial grasp on the English language as it is. I think I'll just head out since you're busy. See you tomorrow? Abigail purses her lips, clearly disappointed at the disruption, but unable to get out of it. She places the phone to her chest to reply. Alright, catch you later then. I give her a nod and start to back away. She waves me goodbye with her free hand before grimacing at whatever she's hearing on the other end of the line. I head out of the classroom, feeling a bit lighter after our interaction. Even though it was short and kind of awkward, it was nice to connect with someone else on campus. First thing I do when I get back to my room is scrub my forehead hard enough to strip chrome from a bumper. After enough time, my skin is left spotless, save for the aching, bright red splotch of skin left in its wake. Then I get to thinking about Abigail's change of mood earlier. That, coupled with Counselor Sam's advice, I find myself pulling out my phone and dialing my parents' number. Hey, Dad, it's me. Another beat of silence. My palms begin to sweat. Hello? Can you hear me? It's me, Dad. It's Dev. I didn't call you yesterday. His words are a slurry of syllables crashing against one another. Is he really? Dad, we didn't talk yesterday. Dad! He is. Dad, are you drunk? You sound like you are. Dad! Are you drunk again? Was that one drink before or after work this time? God damn it, Dad, you promised! The sound of muffled static plays as the other end of the line is shuffled about. Is she asleep or is she passed out on the couch? I fucking knew it! You know what, Dad? My day was pretty rough too, so I think I'm going to go to bed. I hang up. Shit. I don't want to deal with this. I think I finally have an answer for Counselor Sam's question. I'm not homesick. At all. I feel envious of Emily, Rebecca, and Abigail. I wish I could wriggle my fingers on a pencil, a keyboard, or freaking maracas to be able to create anything. Make something of myself more than the child of a pair of drunks. Counselor Sam, in all of her foul-smelling wisdom, is right about something. I can't afford to let opportunities pass me by. I dial Theo's number. Why do you assume something is wrong? Whatever, listen. You were right, so I want to do it with you. There's a pause. That came out wrong. The game, Theo. The game. I want to make the game with you. You don't sound as enthusiastic as last night. No, let's just say families are complicated. Following the map in the CCC app, this time easily finding the library, and Theo torturing himself in the middle of a very literal tower of books. As I approach him, I see that more than half of the books on his table aren't even about any sort of history. He hears me get closer. His eyes twinkle when he sees me. He points to my forehead, grinning ear to ear. He's shushed, and I laugh at his expression of despair. They're going to kick you out for screaming. It's the least you deserve for making me go through with this. He crosses his arms. At least one of you has a good head on their shoulders. He grins at me. Remembering how fondly Rebecca spoke of Theo, and how fondly he's speaking of her now, I feel another pang of envy. Although I am reminded of something she said, or called me. Hey, Theo, what does skinny mean? He quickly silences me, looking back and forth over the library. I came from a mostly human town. I've never heard anyone use that before. Your sister. I am assuming it isn't some Saurian nickname for humans like I thought. So she was insulting me then. He is right. I shouldn't dwell on it. I mean, it was a single argument. And despite it, I can't help but feel happy for how the day went. Emily showing me her drawing, Rebecca reading to and confiding in me, Abigail playing a beautiful melody. Each of them are great to talk to in different ways. Each of them is so talented in their respective craft, art, writing, and music. Makes me think of how they could come all together in a... I jump at his words. Yeah? I smile. We're totally gonna do it. Theo blushes. Not that, Theo. The video game. Now I'm the one who's being sent some venomous shushes. I guess you could say I had some revelations. I don't exactly have much going on. No hobbies, not really sure what I want to do next. But what I do know is that I like games, and I can't pass up on opportunities, so... I guess that's why I want to give game design a try. Theo blinks twice. An ear-to-ear grin appears on his face in an instant upon hearing that. Cue another volley of violent shushes sent our way. Both of us just laughed them off before returning to our silent studying for the time being. Game creation can always come later. Oh, damn it, I was just getting into it. Oh, I gotta remember, this is not finished yet. Honestly, I'm still in the mindset of DevLog is going to be incredibly special, just based on how I felt about the first 2 chapters alone. But again, the next time that I play DevLog will be when the full game comes out. I want to be able to enjoy all of these games in their entirety. I'll play the demos, and then wait for the full release, get a taste of what's to come, and then wait. Waiting is going to suck, obviously, but... I get the feeling that it'll all be worth it. Regardless, thank you guys for watching the video. Drink plenty of water, be sure to get plenty of sleep, and I hope you guys have a happy new year. I'll see you all in 2025. Take care.